Hey everyone, Heather Ash here, and it is day one of our anti-resolution challenge. So I wanted to come on. I'm going to be coming on every day and doing a little bit of a live broadcast to share, to answer questions. So for those of you that are new, hey, welcome everyone. We're broadcasting right now through StreamYard onto my regular page, my author page on Facebook, YouTube, the Warrior Goddess Women group, as well as Warrior Goddess Inspiration. So welcome wherever you're tuning in from, and feel free to share in the chats your name, where you're tuning in from. I'm currently in upstate New York, outside of Woodstock, and it's day one of the Anti-Resolution Challenge. And what is the Anti-Resolution Challenge, you ask? So if you're not signed up, I invite you to sign yourself up. It's free for the next 7 days. And you can go to antiresolutionchallenge.com and just stick your email in. It's super simple. Go do it right now. If you are signed up, the first email went out this morning. Hello, Paru. Went out this morning. And if you don't see it in your inbox, do a search for probably Anti-Resolution Challenge and it should pop up. So if you're signed up for the challenge, check your inbox if you haven't gotten the first video. And what's going to be happening over the next 7 days is, for those of you that are signed up, again, that's at www.antiresolutionchallenge.com. You'll get an email in the morning that will give the short, it's like a 10-minute video that's been pre-recorded, and a worksheet. So a little bit of a question, a worksheet. And our question today was around, how have you weathered the storm? So what we're exploring as part of the challenge, and I'm going to be coming on every day just for a little bit of time to answer questions, to share some thoughts, to just be with all of you, because I wanted there to be also a live component. And hey, Natalie, and you're also Marcia, Sophia, you're also welcome to share your thoughts on our Warrior Goddess Women Facebook group. So that's where there's a post there, and we're going to be interacting there. So that's a place to go, and it's in the email and the link. So check your email if you haven't seen the video yet. The reason that we decided to do it as a video rather than as a live is that you can watch the video anytime, and then we can chat here. So, hey, Nikki, I love your suggestion that we channel more goddess and less warrior energy. Exactly. I really related to everything you said and have been using all 4 of the coping mechanisms you outlined, and it's not working for me. Exactly. So the first video, what we talked about, hey, is this idea that for many of us during pandemic, like especially over the last couple of years, let's just start with that there's been a lot of excess warrior that I've been seeing and really looking at, that there's this survival, like we've had to force and push, and that energy is not bad. It's just bringing it into balance and starting to bring more of the goddess energy in, which is opening, trusting the flow, starting to get more still, and also especially looking at, where have we been in reaction? Where have we been in survival mode? And with humans, survival mode, we go into these 4 different states, which is freeze, flee, fight, or fawn. And that those 4 reactions are to keep our physical body safe, right? Yeah, I'm glad that it's been helpful to people. It's been so helpful to me to really think about this, that we go into these reactions to keep our physical body safe. That is an instinct response of fight or flight. And those 2 we're really familiar with usually. The fight, like something happens and we go into fight mode, or flight, which is where we run away, okay? Natural response. And the new ones, like more recently, I think because scientists are studying women more than just men, are freeze and fawn. Have you guys heard of these 2? Freeze and fawn. Fawn is a new one to me, and I think it's I know it's the newest of the 4 coping mechanisms that we've used. But freeze is when we can't move, or we stop and we're like, if I just am really, really, really still, then I'll be safe, I'll be okay. And then fawn is when we go into pleasing, placating, again, survival mechanism. So that's the most recent one. So freeze, fight, fawn, or flee. And as I started looking at these 4 coping mechanisms, I really started to see like, oh, these actually correlate to the 4 strategies that I've noticed in humans that are our ways, are coping for emotional, how we protect ourselves emotionally. So that's what our lesson is today, is exploring where have we emotionally protected ourselves, especially over the last couple of years. Like, how have you weathered the storm? What have you gone into? And those 4 strategies are, in no particular order: control, isolate, please, or distract. Okay, so those are those 4 main strategies that are in my book, Warrior Goddess Training. I've been working with them for, 15 years now, and you can see how they correlate. So yeah, fawn, pleasing, right? Those 2 correlate. Freeze is isolate, okay, where we're just like, if I just get really small and really quiet, I'll be okay. Fight is a controller, like, I'll make it right, I'll figure it out. And flee is a distractor. I'll just keep myself really busy and keep putting my attention elsewhere, not looking at what's upsetting me. So again, those 4 strategies, isolate, control, please, and distract, are ways that we keep ourselves emotionally safe. They're reactions, they're templates that we just go into. And what we're doing with this first day in the Warrior Goddess Anti-Resolution Challenge, day 1, is really starting to question, where are the strategies that you've used that have given you a feeling sense of safety, or a feeling sense of knowing what to do. And we're going to then start to go underneath them to start to look at the benefits, the difficulties, and start to unpack it more. And my vision for the Anti-Resolution Challenge is that we learn to nourish ourselves in a different way by looking at what the strategies have been, by getting curious, and that instead of, I'm just going to add something to my to-do list, I'm going to fix myself, I'm going to make a new resolution, I'm going to add something to the list, and I'm going to warrior through it, that we stop that. And that we go more into goddess mode, which is around opening, creativity, stillness, listening, receptivity, and slowing down, so that we can then assess what's the strategy that I'm using that's not working. And one of the things we'll be doing in the challenge is looking at, what are the benefits? How is this actually serving me? And how is this not serving me? And what are the gifts? What are the gifts of these different strategies? Because beneath all of them, in the soil of our being, there's gifts. There's a foundation where those strategies came from, which are actually our strengths. Okay. So just really looking forward to delving into these more. And I will be doing lives every day at this time. So wherever you're tuning in from or watching the recording later, this is just our opportunity again to share. If you haven't watched the video from today's, you don't have to have watched it to join the lives, but you can set time aside to watch the videos in the Warrior Goddess Anti-Resolution Challenge. Are 10 minutes, they're short. Set time aside every day to watch them. And then if you have the spaciousness to work on the worksheet, or just to sit with the question, this is something that I found to be really helpful. It's really a goddess way, right? Is to bring the question into our bodies. And our question today is, how have you weathered the storm? To be curious about, what strategy have you gone into? What has kind of slipped maybe beneath the surface, and that you haven't been recognizing, that you've been in reaction. So that curiosity, and just to bring that into our bodies and just live the question, be curious about the question, not strive to, I must have the answer, that you can use the worksheet and start to unpack it. But you can also just get curious. I did this the other day where I just had this realization. I'm like, oh, some of the things that I've been navigating in my life recently are because I've gotten stuck isn't quite the right word, but I've gone into reaction around with my controller. That part of me, that controlling part of me, is trying to control my world. So it's like it's not controlling other people so much as like, how do I make sure everything's okay? And I'm checking my to-do list off, and I'm like, that's not sustainable or helpful. Part of it is, but a part of it, and this is what we're going to be exploring through the anti-resolution challenge, is where's the benefit? How's it actually serving you? And we can't let go of something till we name what the benefits are. What's the struggle? Like, what's the suffering that is causing? To be really honest with the suffering. And then what's the gift? We'll be exploring all of those things. So good morning, Rihanna. Natalie, I found the email in my spam. I started as priority. If people can't find the emails, I recommend you do the same. Yeah, exactly. So if you haven't gotten the email, if you signed up for the anti-resolution challenge, and if you haven't signed up, so right now, if you're not signed up and you're curious or you want to join, it's 7 days, little video in the email every morning. There's a link, anti-resolutionchallenge.com. Super easy. You'll just stick your email in and click yes. And if you signed up but you haven't gotten the email, then check your spam or just type in anti-resolution challenge, and I'm sure it'll come up. And if you still can't find it, email us at hello@warriorgoddess.com. We'll help you figure it out. All right. So really, I feel like I've been waiting for a month for this challenge to start because we've been plotting and planning this for a while. So I woke up this morning and I'm like, it's January 12th. It's Warrior Goddess Anti-Resolution Day 1. Yay. And I've just felt so happy and excited to share the teaching. So if you've watched the video from this morning, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What have you, any awarenesses that you had? If you haven't watched the video, yay, just set time aside. Also open to any questions. Yeah, Marseille, I love it. Big self-awareness, big gratitude, and big love. Big love to you. Hey, Mary, good to have you here. So grateful for another chapter of inner work with you. Perfect timing. Yay, so glad that you're here. Yeah, it's another deep exploration. 7 days, I did my best to make the videos short and clear. There's so much information that I wanted to pack in. I'm like, simple. So it's simple. Every email, there's a particular theme for the day. And Sakina asked a great question. I'll answer that in a second. Natalie, okay. Erica, hey, Erica. Gratitude, Heather Ash, has been too long. So good to see you, sweetheart. Hi, Gia. Anna Marie, good to see you. Hey, Shannon. Hey, Shannon, yay. Okay, why does last week? I'll tell you in a second. Kelly, hey, Kelly. Nikki, I use all 4 strategies equally. Do I have to pick one to focus on? You don't. And often when I find that somebody uses them equally, you're often a distractor. So see if that resonates. And what's helpful when you're unpacking them is to pick one for now. Like, all of us use all 4 strategies. That's just the truth. All of us at time go into pleaser mode, or go into isolator mode, or go into controller, or go into distractor. And we also have to remember we're in a society right now, like Western culture right now is really about distracting. Okay, so there's a lot of energy around this idea of like, I'll just keep distracting myself. And the culture is actually feeding that right now. And at work, we feed controlling. Like at work, there's this whole energetic of like, you must be in control. Okay, so you may have places where you go into different strategies in different areas of your life. But what I would get curious about is, what's the strategy that you go back to the most personally? Okay, and you may have layers of them. Like, I know when I was growing up, my main strategy growing up was a pleaser. And at a certain point, I shifted strategies, went into becoming more of a controller. But if the controlling isn't working for whatever reason, I go back into pleaser. Like, I've watched that with myself of like, this strategy is no longer working. I'm going back into pleasing. So Nikki, your question, use all 4 strategies equally. For now, pick one to work with. Maybe that feels the most challenging to you, and you can repeat that process and go back to all of them later. Yeah, good. Oh, good. Thanks, Anna Marie. I'm looking forward. I'm going to go look at the Facebook page after this. I'm so glad that you're sharing. So for those of you that are part of the challenge, or even if you're not part of the challenge, if you just want to hang out with me here and go, the Warrior Goddess Women Facebook group is where we're sharing our reflections. You can also obviously share them here. But Warrior Goddess Women Facebook group, that's where the sharing is happening. And I'll go there after our video ends, after our live ends, and feed some of that energy too. And where are the daily worksheets? I can't find them in my email. If you click on the link, here's my understanding, because I haven't looked at it yet, but my understanding is that on the website, if you click on the link and go to the website where the video is, there should be a link to download the workbook or the worksheet for today. Okay. Great. Hi, Valerie. I'm leaning towards, and whoever just wrote that, thank you for this. Where are the daily worksheets? All I see is Facebook user. I don't see your name. So if you want to pop your name in. Hi, I'm saying hi to you, whoever you are. Hey, Renee, good to see you. Valerie, leaning towards number 1 pleaser and number 2 distractor. Great. Yeah, so pick one of those, and you'll see like that we often can have more than one strategy. That's fine. Pick one for now that you're going to work on the next 7 days unpacking. Okay, it'll be probably the most helpful is to pick one. And Marie, I go into isolation, and when I get there, I plan and try to control. That's really good insight. So at the core, control, an example of a layer. Yeah, beautiful. That's some really good sleuthing and unraveling. Yeah, and remember that, a big part of our community, of the Warrior Goddess community, is that we're learning the difference between judgment and discerning, to really start to witness rather than judging. So I invite you not to use anything that you're learning against yourself ever, but to use it to get more insight. You might find that your mind then starts judging you for being controlling or for pleasing or for whatever it's doing. And whenever we're judging ourselves, we're using the energy that we could be using to create change. So coming back into relationship with witnessing, curiosity. Yeah, Sherry, I'd love to hear, what are the strategies that you're noticing? Glad you're here, Nicole. Yeah. Okay, so someone writes, toggle between control and distraction. Yeah. Shannon, pleaser first, controller second. Good. Ashley, hey, Ashley. I definitely identify with all 4 strategies. It's so dependent on the situation. Mm-hmm. The worksheet was super helpful. Teased out my dominant strategy to isolate. Great. And then Ashley, if you could just share, where was the worksheet? Because again, I haven't clicked on my own link yet, but if you're willing to share with our group, I'm assuming it's on the website, antiresolutionchallenge.com, but you have to be signed up. So for those of you that are just joining us, we have over 4,800 people signed up for the Anti-Resolution Challenge, or 4,700. I found the worksheet in the email. Thanks, Ashley. So it's in the email. Great. So if you haven't signed up for the challenge yet, you'll be in really good company, people all over the world. www.antiresolutionchallenge.com. Super easy to sign yourself up. It's all free. Just go to that link, antiresolutionchallenge.com. I'll share it right here. Sesame, it's so crazy how many people are signed up. It's lovely. So antiresolutionchallenge.com. And all you have to do is put your email in and click. It's super, super simple. And I also want to really thank Rachel and Serena and Tara, people that have been behind the scenes working to make this happen. Tara's been on sabbatical, but she was a huge part of all the things Warrior Goddess. So just shout out to the team. I know, 4,700. I went and looked this morning. I was like, what? It's beautiful. Yeah. Gio, I've learned that a thin veil between the voice of spirit and what I'm perceiving as reality has helped me to be less controlling. Beautiful. I love that insight. that really listening to that voice of spirit, getting quiet, has helped you to course correct around the controller. Because a lot of times the controller voice is very loud. The strategy voices are very loud, and they're compelling because they're trying to keep us safe. So we want to have compassion for the strategy, to understand the strategy thinks it's helping. And in some cases it is. There's benefits for the strategy as well. Okay. We'll be exploring that as well. So each day, as part of the anti-resolution challenge, there'll be a 10-minute video, a worksheet, a theme to explore. And then I'll be doing lives at this time for 20 or 30 minutes, answering questions so that we have a place to interact. And that you're also welcome to go to our Warrior Goddess Women Facebook group. Join that group if you're not part of it, and we'll be interacting there as well throughout the day. Hey, Jacqueline, so glad that you signed up. I think you're gonna like it. It's a really fun challenge and deep as well. And that's kind of my theme for this year, is like, how do we go deeper in our own healing and process? And also, how do we have more fun? How do we bring lightness as well? The warrior energy is helpful. And I think a lot of us are burnt out, right? That we've been pushing, that we've been struggling, that we've been striving, that we've been surviving. And we need to learn how to do it a different way to be more sustainable. And for me, that's bringing in the goddess energy, that openness, receptivity, listening, creativity, being creative, learning how to receive, to be more receptive, taking down the armoring, resting into ourselves in a new way, and nourishing our soil. Yeah, I've lived my whole life in warrior. Yeah, a lot of us have. Thanks for sharing that, Carrie. That we're learning how to do it a different way. And especially for those of us that didn't even know there was a different way, we're slowing down to learn. And that's what the anti-resolution challenge is. It's an offering to help us to learn to be in relationship with ourselves in a different way. Yeah. And not to knock warrior energy. It's what I always say about warrior goddess energy. It's learning to balance them. We can go into excess of warrior, or we can also go into excess of goddess. So we're balancing. Emily, my controller voice uses the word wooza moment to just let it go. Your book and challenges have given me a new beginning, and I thank you so much. I love it. That's great. Thanks for sharing, Emily. Shannon, the timing of this divine. Yeah, I talked to my team, and I was like, let's start January 1st. And we sat with that, and we realized, you know what? The beginning of the new year, like, we're all kind of finding our feet, and it's a struggle, and we're also still in holiday mode. And so I'm really grateful that we waited to start today so that we had enough time. I know for me, like, I feel much more settled than I did January 1st. And then I can really bring my attention to the challenge and to all of you, and supporting all of us as we go through the challenge, because I'm going through it with you. Like, I'm excited to rewatch the video that I did, and to learn, and to also learn from all of you, your experiences. So please share if you haven't joined the anti-resolution challenge, there's still plenty of time. We're on day 1. Warrior Goddess, sorry, I keep saying Warrior Goddess because I'm so used to saying that. It is at antiresolutionchallenge.com. That's the website. Super easy. Email, click, and you're in. Yeah, it does feel perfect that it starts today. And if you are part of the challenge and you haven't gotten the email, it's in your inbox somewhere. So it might be in spam, or it may be in promotions or something. But just do a quick search, anti-resolution challenge, and it should pull up our day 1. Okay. And in the emails, there's a short video, link to a short video, and the worksheet that you can download. If you have any questions, you can't find something, you can always email the team, our beautiful Pixie team, hello@warriorgoddess.com. And share your questions or your insights or your struggle or your excitement or your insights and ahas over at the Warrior Goddess Women Facebook group. So We have, I think, like 300 women joined this week. If you are in a male body, we're asking, everybody's welcome to do the challenge. We ask you just not to join the Warrior Goddess Women group, because that's for women/women identified. And if you're in that camp, you are so welcome to join. If you're in a male body, you can comment here. We're so happy that you're here, or you're more male identified. And if you don't identify with either gender, yay, we love you. Come on over to the Warrior Goddess Women group and share, or not, share here. That's also a great place. Good. That was a great idea to start today. Perfect. Good. Yeah, I'm so happy. Shannon, so much breakthrough, and this guidance is a reminder of how amazing we are. Yeah, you're welcome, sweetheart. Teresa, it's just right for me. Good. Hi, Darlene. All right, loves. Well, any other questions or shares? I'm going to pop off in a minute and go over to the Warrior Goddess Women group and just answer any questions that might be there. Know that I'll be going in and out of that group today and tomorrow, and that we'll have day 2 email will be going out in the morning. So we'll have a rhythm. And the rhythms is that, well, I shouldn't say morning, because some of you are not, it's not morning, it's afternoon, but we send them out. I think it's at 7 a.m. Pacific time. 7 a.m. Pacific is when the email goes out. 8 a.m. Pacific time, we're then posting the meme for the day on the Warrior Goddess Women group. So you can search through and find that. And then at 9 a.m. Pacific time, I'll be doing a live and just checking in with everyone. So that's the rhythm. You can always watch things, whatever time zone you're at, whatever time works for you. So there's no right way or wrong way to do it. I'm just so grateful to be sharing these teachings and to be part of this amazing group of humans, over 4,700 of us that are doing the Anti-Resolution Challenge. So lots of love. Hey, Heather, good to see you here too. And if I didn't call your name out, this is the other thing that's important, is that sometimes YouTube, because I'm using a different platform, sometimes YouTube, you don't show up. So if I'm not calling your name out, it's not because I'm ignoring you, it's because I don't actually see you. Oh, thank you, Sakina. I love how you always remind me to answer your questions when I forget. So Sakina's great question was, why is it a 7-day challenge? And there's a couple answers to that. One is that if you do something for 7 days in a row, it really helps. That amount of time helps to rewire the system. So it's a powerful, a week, 7 days is enough time of focusing on something that it actually helps to rewire your being. So that's one reason. And the second reason is that I usually do much longer challenges. I do 10 days or 30-day challenges, and I really wanted to condense it so that we can stay steady. What I've seen is that for many of us, we're able to stay steady for 3 days and then we start to lose it. So I wanted to not just do a 3-day challenge because there's not enough time to unpack it. And I also didn't want to do a much longer challenge. So 7 days it felt like the right amount of time, not too short, not too long, just right. So it's the just right amount. It is enough time to rewire your being with new information, and it's long enough that it gives us the capacity to do a pretty deep dive around this topic of how to nourish ourselves in a new way and how to step out of creating like more to do, I have to fix myself, and just really learning how to love ourselves and nourish ourselves so that we can give the best of ourselves to the world. Yeah. As we were creating this anti-resolution challenge, for me, this isn't just about us like feeling better about ourselves. It's really about us understanding how important we are to the world, that the world needs each of us, and that we need to get more sustainable and nourished and grounded and present so that we can be of service, not from I have to fix everything our codependent place, but from a nourished, resourced, we each have important things to bring to these times. So may we continue to deepen our roots and open our beings and listen and show up and get nourished. Thanks for joining me today, sweet ones, whether you're watching the live or the recording. And again, if you haven't joined the Anti-Resolution Challenge, super easy to do so. It's free, 7 days, www.antiresolutionchallenge.com. And if you're part of the challenge and you haven't gotten the email, there was an email that went out this morning with our first video, the first teaching. And so do a search in your inbox, Anti-Resolution Challenge. Hey, Renee, awesome. Looking forward to it. Grateful for the past several months. It's been so life-altering. Yay. It's been so great to have you be part of the community. I have an incredible calmness, something I can't remember feeling. It was so long ago. Yay. And again, I'm about to go over into the Warrior Goddess Women group. Some of you are watching from there. But if you want to go deeper with the challenge, that's a place to interact with our community. Again, it's the Warrior Goddess Women Facebook group. Go do a little search on Facebook and you'll find us. If you're not part of it, you just need to join. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you, Gia. Heather, appreciate the opportunity and the kismet that I randomly logged in now and found you here. Yay! Virtual hug back to all of you. High five. Day 1 of the Anti-Resolution Challenge. Let's stay steady for the next 7 days together. I will see you tomorrow, whenever. Again, look for day 2 of the video will go out at 7 a.m. Pacific tomorrow. If you didn't get your video today and you're part of the challenge, do a little search for Anti-Resolution Challenge. If you want to join us, you're welcome to join anytime. I'll share the link below. www.antiresolutionchallenge.com. Much love. See you soon. Have a beautiful day.